Okay, that's working. Everything's working. Should be good. Should be live. I don't know why it's not. Interesting. Twitch is not behaving very well. Hate it when it stops behaving. Just make sure I got my stream manager up. Perfect. Okay, let's get to work. Oh, I heard the pop. I heard the husky. I heard the pupper. Yeah, I heard the pupper. He's a good pupper. What am I looking for? I'm going to World Anvil. Oh, I need to log in. Let's not do that on my middle screen. Let's pull up my World Anvil. Ah, everything's breaking. There we go. Okay. And Vetelon articles. Let's go to dashboard. Let's get this party rolling. I should also make sure the cloud bot is alive, because last time my bot died. I don't need to know about a political commentator. I need to get into Streamlabs. Sorry, I keep moving my camera, and so like I've got a screen over here. Okay, let's get this going. Cloudbot, how are you doing? No, I don't need the chat box. Cloudbot, here we are. Okay, it's alive. The bot is alive. It just takes a second for it to let it know that it's alive. Good. The bot is alive. Just making sure it is. Let's make sure that my Twitch is alive. The Twitch is alive. Everything is alive. Everything is working. All right, we are good to go. Okay, let's get my headphone connected to the computer. I still got stuff I gotta do. I'm still getting set up over here. Oof. Okay, what do we need to fix here? I needed to fix some stuff. I was organizing Sutrana. I was writing out my stuff on Sutrana. I don't have a flag or crest. Maybe I should get one really quick. I also like to make sure I've got a Spotify up, because I like to have some music while I work. I think you guys would appreciate having some music too. Let's pull up my usual kind of stuff. The guy that I do music with. Well, not with. I don't help him. But let's see, Alexander Nakarada. Also, if you don't know of this artist, he does a lot of good background noise for D&D. So I want his album. Here it is, and I don't want it playing on my phone. This computer. There we go. And just let me know if it's too loud or what. I can always adjust that. I've got it going in my headphones, so it's a fun little tune. He's got some fun stuff that we listen to over here. Okay, so as far as getting this project going, how much did I write on Sutrana? Wow. Did I ever write anything on Sutrana? No, don't publish. Pull it back. It's got 2 words. That is... Oh. Shoot. That's not helpful. Sutrana, it's not helpful. Crap. I I got nothing in this for world building. What did I do? What did I do? Why is this a... Okay, let's delete it. We'll have to make a new one. We're going to have to do some writing today, guys. For anybody watching, yeah, we're going to have to do some writing because there is no way... There is no way on earth that I can get away with not posting, having anything on the country everybody is in. So I need to develop a leadership structure for Sutrana. It is a fallen empire, so to speak, where the empire is very much not what it used to be. So let's build us in. I don't need articles. Come on. Come on, give me my dashboard. We're going to be making a new article. It is going to be a country. Sutrana. Also, chat, if you got any recommendations or you wanna chime in with anything, or you wanna work with me on this, I go ahead, put it in chat how you feel like things should go. I'll explain out Sutrana a little bit. So Sutrana itself is a fallen empire in the... Let me see if I can't pull up the actual, like, a map or something. Sutrana itself is a... When I say fallen empire, it isn't what it used to be. Hello, Hecate. Welcome to the party. We're happy to have ya. Okay, before I ask, is it Hecate or Hecate? Because half of me is thinking that your name's supposed to be a play on the goddess of magic. I believe it's Greek, was Hecate. But I suck at pronunciation, so... The thing is, Sutrana has a long history. Man, Sutrana has a very long history. So you have the capital of Sutrana. And then these have names. I have to pull them up. Rathan's Reach. We have a lot on Rathan's Reach because the players are in this area. In fact, this is supposed to be up here. Hello, Vexillion. Velixion. Sorry. Wow. It's based off the goddess of magic, so I was pronouncing it correctly. Yeah. Hello, Velixion. Tell me if I'm mispronouncing something. If I'm mispronouncing your name, know that it's not intentional. Know that it's not rude. I am just terrible at that. I'm doing well. Another Thursday. Another bit of prep I need to do. I have a lot going on this already. So, like, I've got this area all set up. In fact... I'm gonna move a monster over because I studied up on the Bone Claw, which is supposed to be the primary antagonist of this dungeon, and they're gonna have to Valley Shion. Val works. Okay, I'll just call you Val. I'll just call you Val. Gotcha. I was working on my homebrew book, but taking a break and checking out streams myself. Dude, I get it. Okay, yeah, homebrew books. Oh man, I'm writing right now, so I'm working on a book right now. So I'm like, yes, but I got to get stuff done for my campaign because I run weekly, and if I don't prep ahead of time, I kind of end up kicking myself when the players do something way out there and I wasn't prepared for it. Like when the players decided to buy a boat and run off the continent. Vampire EMS. Book is just subclasses, races, and spells and okay, so it's a splat book. That's cool. I feel that my books are just subclasses, races, and spells. As far as Vampire EMS, I'm trying to think. Here's the problem with Vampire EMS. It's unclear in vampire lore if they need to be invited in by the resident, which means if EMS shows up at the door, they technically have not been invited in by a resident because of how EMS works. That is a huge question, Val, about like the functionality of vampires in the current era. Can you get over the enter without permission by technically having permission? Not permission, but technically being allowed because you're an emergency medical service. There's a huge question about what constitutes consent. Ow. Or doormat that says all are welcome. I would argue. Here's the argument that I would make. It's just a shot. My brother likes to mess with me. Okay. I set up blurb. So you can find blurps. Blurbs. Blurps. It's with a P. Jake set it up to mess with me when I'm playing some games. He added a bunch of them without telling me. So that's why that's in there. There's a few of them in there that it's like, I didn't add those. Why are those in there? But I'm just like, I'll just run with it. It sounds like fun. Yeah, so there's the concept. So I would argue the doormat that says all are welcome, if it was placed by the, there's another unclear. Is it based on ownership or is it based on residency? Because there's a clear delineation between that. Like, how does rental properties work? Because of when vampires design, I'd assume it's just resident. I would say if the doormat was placed by a resident and thought, this is my doormat, this is how I'll welcome people, then yes, I would say that constitutes permission to enter. All are welcome. The vampire is welcome. But as far as EMS goes, they still have to have permission from the resident, so they can't just break down the door. If they knock and the resident says they can come in, then yes. EMS, again, this is just these are just semantics of how complicated society has gotten since the idea of vampires were introduced. So EMS is a weird conversation for vampires. I'd say the doormat's a pretty clear delineation. While the resident did not intend that everybody can just walk in, I feel like it is still given permission that they are welcome there. And so if it was placed by the resident, the doormat, yes. EMS, no. Because EMS did not consent to the vampire entering, that specific person. They consented to having help come. They did not consent to a vampire or that specific person. And I think vampires need specific welcoming. Because a welcome all, it implies everyone is welcome, including that vampire. Because the person did not know that this person was coming with EMS, then they could not. It's the same. It's the same conversation of can a vampire execute a search warrant? Kind of muddy there, because technically they have the opportunity to enter the resident because of the because technically they have permission from the search warrant, but they did not permission from the resident, because the resident, especially with no knock warrants, have no idea this is happening. So there's a question of can a vampire execute a search warrant? You're a renter, aren't you? Yeah. Call your landlord. Rental properties get kind of tricky. Also, there's a question of like, how do apartments operate? Is each domicile an apartment? Can he only enter that apartment, or by getting permission from one resident, can he then go between the apartments? The other question is like, okay, so how does this work with not just apartments, but like split homes? Can you come in, but can I not enter the basement? Oh, you're renting out the basement, aren't you? See, there's so many questions of how this would operate in modern day. I would say for the renter thing, it's unclear. Again, it's the unclear delineation of, does it have to be the owner of the domicile or just a resident of the domicile? It is. Vampires are weird, man. Vampires are. There is, I think I came across it on Reddit about like that vampires. Yeah. I don't know. It's so complicated. I guess it comes down to the author. Like my vampires, for funny, pulled over would be, can I get some photo ID? No. See, there's questions about that. Would vampires show up on photo? Because you got to understand the reason why vampires aren't can't be seen in mirrors. They are not non-reflective. Vampires as base. When I'm talking about vampires, I'm not talking about like modern day stuff that has come up. I'm talking like vampires, like Dracula, the old school vampires. The reason they couldn't be seen as mirrors because mirrors used to be lined with silver, and silver was a metal of purity. So my question is, maybe they don't pop up in silver framed like photos. Like the vampire can be photographed, but as soon as it's framed in silver, the vampire kind of disappears. I think that's a more funny thing, you know. But why is this picture? Oh, Uncle Steve isn't showing up anymore. That's weird. I feel like vampires driving. Vampire gets pulled over. Do you know why I pulled you over? No. You want to let me go. Just the hypnotize immediately. Vampires in the modern day, man. Do you know how funny that would be? Vampires in the modern day have to be. New ID requirement, silver-backed photos. The society is trying to weed out the vampires. So like they introduce a bunch of laws to deal with vampires. They're like, okay, first of all photos will now be backed with silver. The question is, do you need to back the photo, or do you just need to back the silver? Do you just need to back the lens? Like, if you had a lens lined in silver, would that work? Questions, definitely questions. This is discrimination. Corpses don't have rights. Well, they do. I feel like undead would be treated by in the same way you would treat corpses. You know, proper respect. But it's like the corpse doesn't have freedom of speech. The creature that has been hunting us for millennia. You don't get that. It would be funny to see the society react to vampires. You know, so. Honestly, I would think vampires by the modern day. You know, that's why we have a blood shortage. That's why there's a blood donation shortage, is because the vampires run the Red Cross, and so they run the Red Cross and so they get a percentage of the blood. Again, modern day vampires. Modern problems require modern solution. The other question is, okay. Modern day religion is everywhere. Iconography is everywhere. And is it only Christianity that affects them, or is it other religions? Like at what could because it's like, okay, no, a vampire technically couldn't serve in any operational role within the government, because like any sort of Congress, any sort of house, any sort of position of power like that, they're required to swear an oath, usually on a holy text of some kind. So there's some questions about that. Modern day vampires are fun. I should be doing my prep. I am getting way off topic. Where was I? Where was I? Sutrana. What was I talking about in Sutrana? I was moving this town up. Here's your burger. Did you put the mustard and ketchup in the shape of a cross? I got a better one for you. Vampire works at McDonald's. Goes to hand the bag to the person in the car. Immediately stops dead as they pass through the window, stopping. The vampire just goes, "Sir, I need you to take the bag. Are you living in your car?" put it in the shape of a cross. And then that raises another question. McDonald's here. The other question is, do vampires? Does again? This is a question you got to have with us. Is it just any cross, or like, is it just any T? Or does it need to be like specifically, I am making this symbol? Is it the symbol that they fall back from, or is it the actual like image? Vampires getting defeated by no trespassing. Or my other question is businesses. I don't know if this is covered in Dracula, but businesses. Can they enter a business? Because it depends. See, technically, everyone is welcome within certain hours. Or it's implied that they are. Do they need that direct invite? Do businesses now need to put a sign out saying all are welcome, or come on in, or somebody out there that says come on in, have something to eat? Like, can vampires just enter businesses, or does it have to be specifically residences? There's so many things you just question about vampires. You're like, how does this work? What is the actual logistics of vampires in the modern day? Without changing the rules. Because I feel like a lot of places change the rules. A lot of things like that change the rules specifically to make it easier on them. And the other question is, how powerful of sunblock do they need? Like I said, there's so many logistics to this. This just in, while attacked by vampires, since they don't need let into businesses. Dude, the sun kills them, but moonlight is harmless. So this requires me to look up, because I want to see why vampires. Sorry, I'm looking for like the origins of why that is. Because if you understand why that is, in OG Dracula, didn't the sun just weaken them? Let's see. I'm not sure. I think it might have just weakened them. I mean, I know in Vampire the cowboy tried to shoot him. Sorry, I'm just reading up real quick on vampires and sunlight. Oh, so in sunlight, Dracula burns, loses his strength, and would be eventually destroyed. So he can be killed by it. I'm looking up Bram Stoker's Dracula, because that's what it was. Photophobia of vampires is a major trope. Here it is. Gave birth to the modern vampire myth. You're in for a surprise. Jonathan Harker, visiting Dracula in his castle, does write in his journal on June 25th, I have not yet to see the Count in the daylight. Can it be that he sleeps when others awake? He may be awake, but Harker is mistaken. Back on May 8th, Dracula popped into his chamber to wish him good morning while he was shaving. Dracula continues to be the king of the daytime, making no less than 6 more appearances in broad daylight in Bram Stoker's Dracula. sewage, etc. Supposedly can't cross running water, but the height requirement on that because bridges, planes, etc. There's got to be a height requirement. Like vampires, because they can fly as bats. I don't think they can directly cross running water. I'm trying to see why. Because the sunlight makes sense. It's supposed to be a creature of the dark. It weakens and eventually destroys him. Let's see. Sorry, I'm just... Interesting. In modern lore, can't cross... Oh, here we go. As an example of this, in the novel Dracula, he was trapped on a boat even though he can turn into a bat or a cloud of gas. He was stuck until it docked in London, at which point he in wolf form ran down the gangplank, crashed the ship, and fled into town. It's a Slavic thing. I'm trying to think of why. Why? Sorry, I'm trying to find it. It's so hard. Vampires can't wash their hands. Well, there's the issue of what constitutes running water. For instance, a vampire can technically wash his hands. He just has to fill the sink first and wash it in the sink. Because he can't cross running water, at which point it becomes stagnant. Pipes don't seem to affect him. London has had waterways for centuries, and so sewage would have existed. Vampires can obviously cross sewer lines. The question I'm having is, where does the running water, what is the implications of that? Because I think it's about the intention behind it. Just like the cross, I don't think holding up a random T to Dracula would work. Specifically, holding it up as a holy symbol is different. So there's the question of holy symbols there. Let's see. Specifically repelled by holy symbols presented with true faith. Interesting. So if you've got no faith in it, in the holy symbol, then it won't work. Let's see. Idea comes from the term living water, as in the water that is flowing across the land from one place or another, or it's in constant motion like the sea or a big lake. This is the lifeblood of the world and carries spiritual weight. So I wonder if it's because running water has spiritual weight to it. How much of this is because they have spiritual weight to it? I don't know. I don't have an answer to that. Like I said, these monsters, because they're fiction, there's so many holes in them that you got to pay attention to. Can't 3 inches wide, 1 inch deep. Quote stream unquote kept flowing by a trickle pump. Darn, there's a flowing underwater reservoir 3 miles beneath this land. I don't think that's how it works. So here's the thing. So like what's interesting. There has to be a limit. I think if there's earth on top of it, he can cross it. Specifically, if there's earth on top of it or some kind of other living thing on top of it, because he crossed the Dracula in Bram Stoker's got off the ship by crossing the gangplank onto the dock and tearing his way off the off the docks in wolf form. So I think it's this is what I hate about vampires. Because eventually it comes down to author's discretion, maybe. And you hear that a lot. It depends on the author. So like, they could pull a Pirates of the Caribbean with buckets of dirt. I would argue, yes, they could pull a Pirates of the Caribbean. Oh, man. Deep cut there. Yes, I think vampires could pull a Pirates of the Caribbean, get a bucket of dirt and stand on the shore with it. Yeah, I feel like they could pull that off. I feel like it would be hilarious, too, for them to pull it off. Yeah, I feel like they could pull that off. It'd be hilarious. Wait, I've got a vampire organization. That's it. I'm putting vampires in my campaign. I'm putting vampires in Sutrana, a good number of them, a vampire organization, because I need to tie this all back to the D&D prep I'm supposed to be doing. That's it. Vampires. I'm thinking vampires. We're going vampires. And Sutrana is the perfect place for vampires because I only see one river. 2 rivers. Do I only see 2 rivers? Really? Three rivers. Sorry, I'm looking closer at my map design when I was designing this map. I'm like, two rivers coming out of... I mean, it's got a big lake there. Maybe rivers run. Maybe there's just streams not on there. Rivers, smaller streams. Maybe they get it from underwater reservoirs. See, I need to think about the logistics of that. Fun idea. Local village makes graveyard under local river to deal with vampires. Poisoning river as a result. As a ritual, once per month, the village from an irrigation system diverts a river through their graveyard, floods it like a rice field, and then releases it to constitute running water to deal with it. Of course, it poisons the river, like you said. Vampires suck, man. Oh, let me pop in and let's see what vampires we've got. Why is this pulling up from? This has to be the D&D 1 stuff. Let's see. Vampire. From the basic rules. Sorry, you got me going. I need some vampires in my campaign. We had a vampire before. I ran an Umbral vampire. Vampire odd. I don't remember them having 2 coffins. Mimic high. Mimics. Hello. I am your local mimic. I love that idea. The mimic, or he sleeps in the mimic. Vampires, I like this. Hey, so vampires, could a vampire turn a mimic? Questions. That is a question. What does a mimic classify as? Because if a mimic is like a type of ooze, I'd say no. I'd say it has to have blood. It's a monstrosity, which means I would say in theory, yes. But any vampire that's willing to get close enough to a mimic, that's one brave vampire. The other question is, can a vampire hypnotize a mimic? So here's an idea for how you could implement it. The coffin is just a mimic. Lord with a dozing. I don't know what a dozing is. Sorry, I don't know what a dozing is. Is it something else I have to look up? Let me see. There be monsters. Condition is a movement. Nope. So the idea behind a vampire and a mimic, a vampire with dozen, a mummy lord Asgard's. I think vampires are on par with mummy lords. On a table hard enough to draw blood, and now it's drinking your veins. I get it. The phone autocorrect is the worst. I usually have it turned off on my phone. Imagine banging your head on the table hard enough to draw blood, and now it's drinking your veins. Ow, why'd it bite me? The desk, it just starts biting. It's like, what the heck? So I feel like the vampire wouldn't have to turn the mimic. See, I have a very interesting idea for like why a vampire would keep a mimic as its coffin, not next to it, as its coffin. Think about it. The vampire, one, is protected while it sleeps. It has somebody keeping watch on it. Two, it has a mimic to dispose of the corpses. Because that's the problem with draining your enemies is you're left there with like a drained corpse there. You still got to dispose of it. Feeding it to a mimic or an ooze of some kind, a dungeon Roomba. Feed it to a dungeon Roomba. Yes. That's what you do. Feed it to a dungeon Roomba. It'll work. Let's see. Actually, I do think this area needs a dungeon Roomba. Now that I think about it, I want to add some more enemies for this area, so... Gelatinous cube. So I'm trying to think, which one is... One must be from the SRD. These are exactly the same. Vampire's coughing is normal. Is billowing cloak, however. Yes. It just needs a gelatinous cube. That's what it needs. It needs a dungeon Roomba. Everyone needs a dungeon Roomba. Any other kind of oozes I should be aware of? I'm trying to think of what I need. Like for this dungeon. So vampire castle with a vampire lord, some mummy lords, and perhaps a nightwalker? Special delivery. Oh, food. Lunch.
Chicken overlords.
Yes, the overlord is being delivered. Jake went and grabbed some food on his way back. Thank you. I skipped breakfast, everyone, so I will happily take a chicken sandwich. And a load of sauces.
There should also be some chicken nuggets.
Oh, there's some chicken in there somewhere?
Should be a chicken nugget.
Is it upstairs?
Let me check this back.
Yeah, because that doesn't have that. But I'm fine with the sandwich. But sorry, yeah, I got distracted by food. Mimics can become an object. What about a corpse? What is a corpse classified as? That is the question. I think corpse needs its own designation because as an object, it can be manipulated in weird ways. It's still not classified as a creature. Um, and as far as there be monsters, man, that's just like that is way too overboard. So a Nightwalker, if you've never looked up a Nightwalker, those things are what, CR18? First of all, I like Nightwalkers. In theory, I like Nightwalkers. In fact, I had one pop up for my players one day in my last campaign. It was just kind of wandering around. Sorry, guys. I'm going to be munching in the middle of this. It's about lunch for me, and I skip breakfast. So they're CR20. They have so much to them that usually you don't need that kind of thing with these kind of creatures. I don't see a vampire like really keeping a Nightwalker around. Maybe the vampire becomes a Nightwalker after it teleports in. Because I'm like, Nightwalkers come up. Nightwalkers. Yeah, they try to tap people who tap into the well, the fell realm or whatever it is. This negative plane. Opinions on combining flesh to stone, shape stone, greater restoration to make a room of endlessly screaming flesh. You mean a gibbering mouther? See, that's the thing. Combining flesh to stone, stone shape, and greater restoration. I mean, it's in theory. I don't know why you need like. And maybe it's hiding gibbering mouthers. I'm just trying to think of like the logistics behind that. Like you're going through this dungeon. Why is there a room full of screaming corpses? Of screaming flesh? It's absolutely terrifying, and maybe that's the entire reason for it. Is it's absolutely terrifying, and I can get behind it if it's just terrifying to be terrifying. Sorry, I'm way distracted by like food. It's brain food too, so I'm like, yes, I'll be able to work longer. Like walls and floor itself, BRB adds. I hate that. If you'd like, I can just run my ads so that you guys don't get them right now. Ooh, what about Vampire Lord got a Nightwalker trapped? If they don't release the Nightwalker before fighting the Vampire Lord, it gets released and it brings some mates. I mean, yeah, here's the thing. When you're just looking at base combat encounters, one, this thing is overkill for anything less than a level 20 party. Back. Welcome back. Sorry about the ads. If you'd like, we can always take a quick break in an hour, and we can always just run a quick 3-minute ad break. Everybody go get some water or something. We can meet back up, and that way we don't have to deal for ads for an hour. But that'll come later. I'll let you know when I do that. That's how I normally do things, so that you guys don't have to go deal with ads whenever you're popping in and out. I'm like, Nightwalkers are cool. The thing is, all these cool creatures, it's like, yeah, if they're run in a terrifying manner, they work really well. Like, Annihilation Aura is a cool ability. Finger of Doom, where it just points and somebody takes a bunch of damage. And then Enervating Focus. It's like, the Nightwalker is cool. Usually you don't need that kind of thing. And the Vampire Lord, like you said, it could be interesting that they trap this thing. My question is, why is a level 20 party going after a vampire? It seems a little under their level. They're really punching down if they're going after the local Vampire Lord. It seems like punching down. Never thought I'd have to say that about a vampire. The party going after a vampire, that is yeah, that's pretty punching down. Because vampires are what? CR 14? 13. I think 14 if they're a lord. No ooze. Bunch of ants like in Bone Snatchers. I like oozes. I here's the thing. I like cube. The gelatinous cube is the dungeon room, but Death Knights. Death Knights are another thing that's like, okay, I understand if they're going after a Death Knight, that's not punching down. Because the Death Knight is inherently a high class thing. CR 17, yeah, that's not punching down. Maybe a couple of Death Knights, but the question is, why are Death Knights doing that? Why the Bone Snatchers scared me? Bone Snatchers. I don't think I've ever seen Bone Snatchers. Let me see. Look it up. Bone Snatcher. It's like an older movie, 20 British Canadian horror film directed. I don't know. I've never seen it, so. Is it well received? 4.5 out of 10, so not really well received. Leaving behind. Okay. Quit it with the ad. Horror film, UK, South African proto in the Namib Desert. Something is killing people, leaving behind their bones. Interesting. Why are there so many rifles? Why is it that the wiki has so many rifles? Why are they just showing off the guns? They don't have much information. Okay, sorry. I need to pull this up. This is completely... oh, that's why. I'm not on the wiki. I thought I was on the wiki. Why did it take me immediately to the movie firearm database? This is a thing? Ow. Ow. That did not need to be at full power. Screw you, site. Sorry, apparently there is a site. Why is that at full volume every time you go to the page? No wonder nobody's heard of this site. Sorry, this is... Okay, I gotta pull this up because this is hilarious. Basically the ants puppet the bones. Ooh. They go after vampire, but it's a group of Death Knights that got a Nightwalker trapped. That would work. Dude, sorry. I'm pulling this up for you guys because this is hilarious, and I think it's hilarious. Did you know there's apparently a database of movies and what guns were used in that movie? I didn't know this was a thing, and I don't know why this is a thing, and it doesn't need to be a thing. There's just a... Look at this. There's just a database of it, and I don't know why it like pulls up like a wiki. That's hilarious. It is cool. Next up, movie sock database. But yeah, I'm like, why is this a thing? So like, let's go to something. Maybe there's like... Sorry, I don't know why I'm stuck on this. This is hilarious. This needed to be a thing. Wait. The following 200 pages are in this category out of 7,000. Jeez. Why is this a thing? Okay, we're way far off topic now. Note to self, investigate that site later. Because that is funny. but you can't have undead without crawling claw or a Bodok. We've already had a Bodok. As far as a crawling claw, I don't think we've had one of those yet. Yeah, my players aren't like super powerful, so I don't need to throw stuff like a bunch of Nightwalkers and Death Knights at them. I get to like make balanced encounters. I actually get to make balanced encounters for now. For now. Level 12, that goes out the window. I know. How many gigabytes does it take to store? What is the purpose of storing that? It's like, what would be the purpose of that kind of thing? Just like the SOC database, that better not be a thing. It better not be a thing. No, good. It's not a thing. Wait, maybe. There's a blog about iconic moments with socks in movies, but it played that, so I don't want to deal with it. Didn't somebody just try to calculate how many physical pages Wikipedia would take? Maybe just throw a Mind Flare Lich at them and call it a day? No, again, they're too powerful for that. And Mind Flayers don't make sense in this location, so throwing them at my players doesn't make the most sense. A Lich, maybe. Like, we've got a Bone Claw. We've got a Bone Claw that's going to be thrown at them, which is going to be a lot of fun. I know this dungeon's going to take them a while, which means this Bone Claw is going to be able to come back. Because so when I was we designed this dungeon previously on stream. We got it together previously on stream and decided that the Bone Claw is going to be the boss of the, like, one of the bosses of the dungeon. And then I realized something. A Bone Claw can't run this dungeon because of the nature of a Bone Claw. So we need a new antagonist for this dungeon. Yeah, that would kill him outright. They're level 10. And we're not looking to kill him outright. Yeah, it is well above CR20. How many... You're going to make me look it up. The size of Wikipedia. Storage size of Wikipedia. I don't need of a day, just the storage size of Wikipedia. I want to find this out. I actually want to find out. You see, you got me off topic again. Yeah, you guys are good at doing that. You guys are really good. Current version of all articles compressed is only 22 gigabytes without media. Full English Wikipedia with images is 91 compressed. Okay, simple English is 200. So it's not bad. And that makes sense. It's not like there's videos in there, but that's still a lot. Yeah, I'm pretty sure a Mind Flare Lich is above CR22. So I'm like, can't throw that at him. I need a strong undead. To my favorite place for finding things to fight. Cobalt Fight Club. Undead. Challenge rating. See, the issue is the Bone Claw is going to be there. That Bone Claw is going to be Mummy, Lord, or Mummy. Mummies are coming up. The next dungeon is going to be mummies. Hello, cause my Sea Purge. Mic Purge. Cause my Mic Purge? I'm not sure what do you prefer to be called so that I can note that later. We've got Val, we got monsters. Well, there be monsters. I just kind of pronounce it fully. For things where I'm like not sure how I should pronounce that. I do that often. Cosmic. I'll just call you Cosmic. That works. Cosmic. That Cosmic Purge. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. So as far as like mummies, the reason why I'm like no mummies in charge of this is because the next dungeon's gonna be like all mummies. Because it's in the desert. It's a desert temple. We get to throw in real mummies. There's a mummy lord in there. So I don't want to like double up on the encounters. Sorry, I'm eating lunch while I'm doing this. Microdot. Probably a mimic. Hidden in the stamp. Give them a stamp. That would be a lot of fun to do to them. Yeah, Cosmic, because you're just getting in here. I'm doing some D&D prep, getting my session ready for tonight. Desert, the Crawling Apocalypse is a must. Crawling Apocalypse. Nobody ever used microdots. I sorry, I have to look up what a microdot is. Essentially nobody ever uses them. You're right, because I didn't even recognize what that was. Microdot. Text or image. Oh, okay. That would actually be a lot of fun. Give them a stamp with a microdot. Players have to figure it out. And then you can just say, I gave you the answer. It was on the stamp. Now I need to look up the Crawling Apocalypse. Oh, it's a giant squid. That's a mummy cephalopod. That's actually pretty cool. It's not in 5e, so I'd have to figure out how to adjust it over. Wonder if somebody else has a stat block somewhere. Oh, they do. Perfect. TR11. That'd be fun. And the end of each of its turn, ending the effect. My own campaign have been working on for years. There's an ancient fallen god and his remains, the hollowed inside of his bones, is its own dungeon where the boss chamber being in a skull against a lich and undead beholder as the lich's pet. So, must have some strong players. Those are some. That's a pretty tough enemy there. A lich with a beholder as a pet. I mean, it's cool. The climax is in the giant hollowed out corpse of a fallen god. And boss really gives off Final Fantasy vibes there. Sorry, I'm getting things sorted out. I love that idea. Does it have a phase 2? Yeah, does that boss have a phase 2? Or is the phase 2 the actual Lich's fight? Right. I gotta make sure I'm not losing my train of thought too hard. Does it have a phase 2? I'm not sure. It would have to be. Most liches do. Like, maybe it doesn't pull out its magic until later, but I have no players at all that likely never will. I am not the type of person to give that others give a chance to. Oh. Well, you know, when you tune it back, my thing is I see DMing very much as playing the heal. Bones of the Fallen God. Yeah, I said this before, but Spawn of Caius. Insta killed with a Phoenix down. Insta killed with a Phoenix down. Revivify secretly kills this creature instant. Sorry, True Resurrection kills the god kills the Lich instantly and brings the god back. Knowing players, that's what they'd do. They'd see the corpse of a fallen god and be like, "How old is it?" Because that's exactly what I would do. Is I'd ask the DM, "How old is this thing?" I cast True Resurrection. On the god. Picture that champion. What did you do? I rezzed the god. Creature doesn't need to be evil. It just needs to be. It just needs to be evil. As far as getting distracted again with the Phoenix down stuff. As I said, was saying before, Cosmic, I find DMing very much as you're playing the heal. I know as a DM you may not want to give the players the chance, but it's like, yes, but a good heal knows when to take a dive. And I'm very much that person where I'm like, my people will take a dive. It needs to be an urban environment. Any type. I'm thinking humanoid. It's got to be humanoid. Yeah, and so when you know how to take that, be that heal, it's very useful. But you don't know what for yet. Maybe Divinium acts as a replacement for the souls the Lich has to feed to the phylactery. In theory, it allows him to not need to devour souls as much as often. What is a Blackguard? Blackguard. It can be any race. Ooh. Ooh. Yes. Yeah, and so like, and I'm coming from an area where the gods in my world are ideas given manifest. So yeah, for your world, I think the Lich could be mining that either to attempt to achieve divinity. God, that is kind of terrifying. It is a horrifying concept. Like, it's one of those things where you're like, yeah, that could wind up as horrifying. Like the fact that the universe only exists because this god is dead. Never make a Blackguard a humanoid. The party can use charm person or temporarily turn it into an ally. Let me see. Smite, dreadful aspect. The good news is that kind of thing. Well, Blackguards are just humanoid, but I could change its race. I can give it some. What can I give it? I can give it. I mean, the good thing is I can just give it immunity to being charmed. That condition, make it like partly fey or something. I think humanoid works best though, especially for this dungeon. Now that I'm looking at this dungeon, I'm more of like, actually, it really works for a Blackguard to be like a fallen paladin for this dungeon to be the head, and this this Deathclaw, Bone Claw, not Deathclaw. This isn't Fallout. works. And I give my players openings like that, but you know, charming this guy won't stop the Death Claw of the Bone Claw. What level is your party? Party's level 10. The party's level 10. So, they're not quite at the super broken part. The Bard just hit level 10 like last session. So 2 sessions ago. So he's finally getting his crazy stuff. He rolled investigation today and I went, you have a plus 13 on investigation? I think this is a good CR point. We got a little Bodok up here to mess with our players. We've got our cube over here. We're going to have some traps littered through. Magic item, need any? Sure, what do you got? There's a few different ways I can go with this. There's one item in here that's going to be guaranteed to be in there. I'll let you know my party composition real quick. Party consists of a samurai fighter, a creation bard, an abjuration wizard, and maybe a cleric. I'm not sure. We're down to 3 right now since we lost our cleric. So, yeah, since we lost our cleric. As for magic items, yeah, we can use some magic items. For the wizard, we're putting in here something relating to his quest. The good news is this is a very easy way to integrate this. So the thing is, I like to give my players a unique item that I build for them. In this case, the wizard is building a companion familiar, a specific kind of companion familiar. Sure, throw it at me. Homebrew items are right. I can always modify it or tweak it as I need. So, like, he's getting a part to a ritual that he needs to complete. It's like the Blackguard fits because the Blackguard would be summoning this kind of thing. The Bone Claw here would be trying to guard the Paladin. Yeah, go ahead and shoot that one. I wouldn't mind. I love hearing that kind of thing. Let's see. I'll give him a couple skeletons as well, just as let's balance this encounter out. Blackguard. No. Free me. Free me. Yeah, so that works really well for this dungeon. And we're going to be running it tonight, so I'm like, I want to make sure that they're in this now, so I want to make sure. Okay, so this Blackguard would be hard, but they're going to be down on resources because they've got to fight through a Bodok, a Bone Claw. Assuming the Bone Claw. Fun item ideas are items that is cursed and don't seem like it is. Only... Is a flashbang going off anywhere within a mile? Oof. Always like the robe of eyes. I'm trying to think of what, if only because the Totem Barbarian at level 6 was observant. Dude, flashbangs. The robe of eyes is a cool idea. I'm going to pull up. Let's see. The issue is they have a ton of items already. They're just perpetually broke, so they would appreciate money. It's funny, yeah. My party is perpetually broke. They just spend it all as soon as they get it, no matter how much I give them. I like tools at my disposal. For instance, I do run I do like to utilize loot generators every once in a while to be like, okay, there's some loot in here that I don't really want to deal with. It would be treasure hoard. Yeah, 11 to 16 loot tables, party loot. And so it's like they're stocked up on magic items. For instance, the right now the Bard currently... Oh, man, what is the Bard equipped with? Like a necklace that makes you immune to magic, but if you take it off... Yeah, I mean, those things exist. Those are great memes. I'm just like, they're not really my DM style. I don't... It's a funny thing where it's like, yes, it makes you immune to magic, but knowing my players, they would just never take it off. ever. Pull D&D Beyond. The issue is I know my players, and so I'm like, yes, there's so much that you can do, and I'm like, those memes are great. Cosmic Purge, please refresh. Why are you? What the heck? Sorry, Cosmic. The bot got ya. I don't know why the bot got ya. Give me a second. Give them a block of gold that grows every day. If they sell it ASAP, they get basically nothing. They can't carry it. Yeah. Oh man, those items. Yeah, I don't know. I guess my philosophy of magic items is I want them to be able to not just utilize the magic items, but I want them to be able to not necessarily like them. They don't necessarily need to like them. My players just have a horde of magic items. Give me just a second. Sorry, I'm just pulling up character sheets because half my players use D&D Beyond, and I wasn't spamming anything. I was just trying to describe. That's why I'm like, I don't know why you got nabbed by the spam. I'm working on that. All right, go ahead. You should be able to now. Bag of tricks. They got a bag of holding. They got a bunch of stuff. Yeah, you should be able to now. So what happened was I run like pretty strict spam stuff for people that I'm not sure aren't people, but you're obviously a person, so I got you added onto the regulars. Just because I hate bots. Sorry, this is one of my players. He uses D&D Beyond, so I'm seeing what his items are. Dang, he is one tough character. But yeah, you should be good to post it now, whenever it lets you. Does he have a net? Since when does he have a net? Oh yeah, he's had a net for a while since the ship. Bunch of potions. Let's see. What am I looking for? Inventory. He's got a mandolin. They've got he keeps track of all the spells, which is all the magic items, which is great. Like I said, they got a number of magic items. Wind fan, they've used that a few times. That's pretty cool. Headband of intellect, that's why his intelligence is so high. Figurine of wondrous power, brooch of shielding, detection and location, comprehend languages, sentinel shield, spell storing. He likes that a lot. I'm trying to see if he's got anything else hiding on him or in his backpack. Iron bands of binding sold. Zook has it. Dragon's Wrath weapon stirring. Dragon's Vessel stirring. Oh wow, I forgot he had those. Winged boots, composite longbow. Wow, I forget they've got stuff. I'm glad I've got note takers. I'm glad I've got enough note takers where I can be like, yes, all the note takers. Ugh. Ballooning spiders. Last thing we need is raining spiders. I don't like spiders. I hate spiders. They're the one thing that I'm like, I cannot get over. What is Zolkun? Yarding? Token? Perception? Token? It's all of these. ASI, Gem Ancestry, Breath Weapon, Sonic. Okay. All of this stuff. Okay. I'm trying to think of. So he's pretty tricked out. Trix is pretty tricked out. My campaigns. You campaign. View. Wander. Sorry, I'm checking their stats on here because, like I said, they don't go through Roll20. So I have to pop between them. My other two players use Roll20. Wow. Pretty min-max there. I like it. Initiative only +2. Do a joke item. Joke items are great. I got to give them another joke item. I haven't given them a joke item in a while. I really need to. Like I said, loot pipes of the sewers. Pipes of the sewers. Is that just a decanter of endless water that fires sewer water instead of regular water? That's actually pretty funny. That would actually be pretty funny. It summons rats. Prismatic Promise. A ring-like accessory design with gold, silver band, and double helix. Holds 10 gems. A toaster, not a toaster. Turns bread into toast. Into toes. Holds 10 gems. Each given once per day resistance to all elemental damage types. 6 or more of the gems are used in a day. On a 1, the item breaks. 7 gems are used. On a... That is a really strong item. And it doesn't really specifies... it doesn't really specify like how long they get it for. So I would argue Cosmic like this is just like little things I'd be like, oh yeah, if we're designing this item to be used. It has 10 gems. Okay. It has 10 gems. It regenerates 1 gem at sunrise, every sunrise or sunset, however you wanted to do it. Because of prismatic, it regenerates 1 gem. When a gem is used for 1 minute, the creature gains resistance to all elemental damage. At which point, if 6 or more gems have been used, when another gem is pulled out, roll a d20. On a 1, the item breaks. Every additional gem that is pulled out increases those odds of it breaking until the last gem is pulled. Once the last gem is pulled, the item is destroyed. So this is a way it keeps it pretty balanced where it's a usable item. It's an item that they can use readily. I wonder if there's any way I can build like just a homebrew item in here. And so it regenerates every day. It's a really strong item. Sorry, I'm trying to think like logistically how players would use this. Because it's essentially reaction, burner reaction, get resistance to a damage type. To damage types. Trying to think of how that would affect it. Oh, I didn't know the Tonto was magical. I forgot the Tonto was magical. And he's wearing mithril plate. Okay. Wow, they've got a lot of stuff. That severed head, Medusa head, is probably rotting at this point. Could release. I definitely think when it breaks, it could release an ancient spirit. But if you're intending to be at release an ancient spirit, you don't want to risk it receiving, it's breaking on a chance. I think when everything is used, it breaks. I like the idea that maybe it resets. You get instead of at long rest, it doesn't restore entirely. That way, here's the thing: if you're intending this to be an item that the players have until it releases a spirit, you want to make sure that this is a dwindling resource, a resource that they feel like they need. I like the idea of it using a reaction just to block a damage type. I gain resistance to that damage type. Great. Love it as a reaction. And it's like, okay, maybe instead of it fully regenning, it regens 1d6 at sunrise. A lot of items use sunrise instead of long rest because that is an easy way to track time for an item, because this item wouldn't be able to pay attention to a party. Like, well, pay attention when parties rest, because it's just sitting there. Resist or deflect. It says resistance to all damage types. It could be reflection. You could increase the strength of it and make it a dwindling resource. Increasing the strength for a dwindling resource is a very smart idea. I kind of like the idea that it reflects. I feel like it can't. It must be a targeted effect, so it can't reflect like a fireball, but it can reflect. It gives resistance and. Make it stronger. It gives resistance and decreases the damage by 1d10. Yeah, BPS. And not blocks. I think it's smart. I like the iteming concept. I love the items designing concept. It fills a niche role that you want filled. The fighters would love the thing because it's like elemental damage is such a strong effect for them to deal with spellcasters. But there's also the question of, in 5e, do the fighters actually need it? Yeah, I love this iteming concept. Trash gets thrown away. Make sure my lunch gets thrown away so I don't have trash anywhere. I do need to make sure I get back to my world building and everything. And my prep. Because the prep's almost done. We've got it here. This Blackguard. Question is, what is the Blackguard doing? Sorry, chat. I need to change gears. Because if I don't get any work done, I'm going to be in trouble. Give him the equivalent of Pokemon's Destiny Bond. So, Ooh, you're a player in 3 groups? Nice. I would love to play in more groups. I would love to get a group together and actually play, but I'm a forever DM, unfortunately. It is my curse. I am the forever DM. How strong is a Minotaur skeleton? CR2, 67 HP. Congratulations, you've been promoted. Oh no, you're large. Oh no, you're large. Congratulations, you have been promoted. 2 characters per player. Okay, I haven't run games like that. Is one a backup character, or is it like you actually run 2 characters at once? Let's see here. Yeah, a couple of skeletons just to be like, yeah, there are skeletons with this Blackguard. No, not the. Oh, you know what? Screw it. Minotaurs. Minotaur skeletons. Two characters at once. Okay. 4 players with the DM. 4 players with the DM. 4 players, 8 characters. That's a lot of characters to keep track of. It's a lot of characters to keep track of. My max is 6. I cap my tables at 6. Because if I get more than 6, oh boy, things go off the rails very quickly. So I make sure to cap my stuff at 6. That's a lot. 8 characters running around. I'm like, I don't know how to keep track of that without just a battle map all the time. Because there's some encounters I don't use battle maps for. I'm just like, yeah, you guys are strong. Roll a quick initiative, blow through this thing. Okay. Traps. I need to think about traps. Now, we mentioned a lever. We're going to put a lever in one of these rooms. Down here, we're going to put a lever down there that opens up a pit trap. But I want to have some other traps. I think other traps will be very useful for my players. We'll whittle down more resources. Maybe not stuff that's meant to, like, kill. Maybe it's meant to buy time. Stuff that's just meant to buy time. I like that. Because I understand making backup characters. I actually encourage backup characters. Dang. Yeah, that's a lot of... Named UE. Level 2 Wild Magic Sorcerer. Level 9 4 Elements Monk. Level 9 Multi-Class Cleric named Yolican. 14th level. What's with the level differences? That's my question. Is it like players missing sessions or... Because those are some extreme level differences. Like a level 2 wild magic sorcerer? Dang. How's he supposed to keep up? Balancing encounters is tricky with that because you've got such a weak player. It's just 3 groups in their own campaigns and different points. Okay. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Sorry, my brain is a little fried today. My brain is a little way fried today. I'm like, oh, man. I woke up like with something in my throat, and I'm like, oh, better take something to help this. And now my brain is just fried. And I'm glad I finally got some food in me. Okay, anything else? Traps. Okay, changing gears. I need to be thinking traps. Sorry, I'm like, I gotta be thinking traps. I love that idea, though. Man, those characters sound like a lot of fun in practice. It can be a lot of fun in their groups. Being a player must be so fun. I'm like, I don't get to be a player very often, and it's like, okay, the groups I've been in, they've been all right. They've been all right. I need to find a new DM though. I'm like, I just want to play the game. Just actually want to play the game. I want to bring my Wildfire Druid. I want to bring a Wildfire Druid or Shepherd Druid or Life Cleric, War Cleric. Bring something in. I think somebody wants into the studio. I don't know if you guys probably can't. Yeah, I'm blocking it. But I'm like, I've got a... There's a dog currently sitting under the Glimmer is a bit special. His name is Glimmer Puffa Terra, which, if rearranged, spells Purgatorial Flame. Yep. And 4 elements monk specializing in fire. Okay, that makes sense. He's actually a gold dragonborn. He's a gold dragonborn, and it's just a play on that. I love that. What do you want, Precious? She pokes her head under the door. What do you want? Is it because I've got French fries? Yeah, it is. It's because I've got food. That dog thinks she's entitled to all the food. She gets closer. What do you want, Precious? What? Am I supposed to be giving you food? Don't give me that look, pup. Aw, okay. How about this? Come on. Come on, Precious. You can go around. Come on, Precious. Look, door's open. No, not that door. Now she's hitting on the door. Go around. Sorry, I've got a dog that's very insistent that she wants a piece of my food. Hi, Precious. She's very insistent that she gets a piece. Paw. Give me that one. Yeah, I don't give food away for free, dog. You got to do a trick for it. Okay. All right. Loved running this. I am probably going to have to cut it short. I'm like, my prep's done. I just can't wait to run it tonight. The dungeon just got way more dangerous. I got to figure out some traps, but unfortunately, I do got to take a trip to Costco. Old one, infinite corridor, a corridor that 15, 16 feet wide. Once entered, there's no clear sign that just goes on forever. I mean, that's hard to do on a battle map. I love that. Like, that's a cool trap. But at the same time, I need to flush it out. I would need to flush it out. Maybe as I flush it out, because it's like, okay, I need a way to disarm the trap. I need a way to get out. For players to get out, because ideally, like I said, traps are. It depends if a trap is meant to kill or a trap is meant to deter. So, for instance, the gas trap that we had in there. The purpose of this gas trap was not to kill. It was meant to deter. It was meant to. The gas goes off. Everyone goes, okay, we don't want to deal with that. That is a deterrent. As you get further in, traps might get more dangerous. As you get into this area, one of these hallway. You might have more deadly traps. You've got a funny trap here that'll just grab people. I'm not looking for anything I need traps that buy time. And the Infinite Corridor can buy a lot of time. That's a cool idea. Letting the characters figure out how they get through it. The issue is I feel like that's something magical that's a little bit beyond what's in here. So I'm going to have to use that. I'm probably going to use that trap in a future dungeon, in a more magical-based dungeon. The issue is like, okay, this is... undead themed. We got everything going. But yeah, I'll figure out some traps though. I think I've got to get going pretty soon because I got to run to Costco. I'm not even gonna make up anything. It meant for more of a hidden side path, not a main area. Yeah, I mean, a hidden side path, that'd be a great way to be like, yes, I keep some of my treasure back here and this corridor that only I know how to disarm. The issue that I run into with those kind of infinite corridors is my players make liberal use of Dispel Magic. My players like to use Dispel Magic more often than not. So I plan for that in some of my traps where I'm like, oh, this is a fun trap. It can be Dispel Magic, but other than that, it'll take them a second to figure out, oh, it's magical. I cast Dispel Magic. And so they get a moment where they go, oh, okay. They get a moment where they're stuck in this corridor. Maybe they don't realize. I start just tracking time. Have them make a perception check, and if they don't roll that high, they don't know that they walk. And so it'd be like, after about 10 minutes of walking, you guys realize you haven't really gone anywhere. That kind of trap would be a lot of fun in like a rich person's mansion. I like that. I think I'm gonna wrap early today just because I gotta go to Costco and because I gotta deal with this head cold real quick. But I'm gonna be back tonight when I run this session. We start at 7 MST Mountain Standard Time, so hopefully we'll see you there. If not, if you can only come in and hang out for a bit, come in and hang out. You'll meet the players. You'll get to hang out for a bit, and I will be back on Saturday as I am continuing to rage. Would be the intended solution, but they have to find the point that teleports them to the start of the corridor. Yeah. Here, two things. So they combo two things. They combo detect magic and dispel magic. So the first thing they do is the bard casts detect magic, and so then they walk for about 10 minutes. They'd find the point that teleports them back to the performance. Because of how my players combo, that trap is disarmed pretty quickly. Unless they don't do that, it'd be really cool if I get away with it for a while. And I'm gonna try that when they have to raid like an old ruin or a hallway like this would exist. But yeah, I'm gonna get going. I'm gonna run to Costco and then get ready for my session tonight. I hope to see you there. Hope to see everybody there. We will catch you guys